Hello, aloha, and welcome to this new episode of Touchful Podcast. My name is Magdalena, I am your host, and this episode is such a delightful one, such a beautiful, sweet, yummy, juicy topic that I love contemplating, and I would love to contemplate it with you. That I am God's favorite child, and so are you. I am universe's favorite child, and you are the favorite child of the universe as well. That I am love's favorite child, and you are her favorite child as well. You might have heard me using this phrase in some other episodes before, that I am universe's favorite child, and today I would like to tell you more about it, especially what are the consequences, the grand implications of applying this, I wanted to say mindset, but it's much more than a mindset, applying this way of showing up in life from this place, from the place of being loved beyond measure. What are the consequences of this, how it changed my life, and how I believe it could change yours if you saw yourself as God's favorite child, universe's favorite child. I originally recorded this as a live stream, or created this as a live stream on Facebook and on Instagram with an intention to release it as a podcast as well. So for those of you who like and prefer, like me, to listen to podcasts, this is the audio version for you with a little bit of extra at the beginning. If you want to have the vision as well, if you want to have the video, then you can just go to my Facebook or my Instagram and find a replay of this live stream there. And I want to start with one of my favorite things to do. And if you've been here hanging out with me in this podcast for a while, then you know this practice very well. Let's connect our hearts in this very moment. So my here and now and your here and now becomes this very moment. And it is my intention that you feel that I speak straight from my heart to yours in this very moment. So I'm putting my hand over my heart, and immediately I also put a smile on my face because I feel you there. I feel your heart. I feel your presence. I really, really do. Because we meet in this eternal now, in this eternal present moment. So I invite you to put your hand over your heart and to feel me here, as if we are having a conversation over a cup of coffee or a cup of cacao, since I don't drink coffee. And the words that I say, the words that I will be sharing with you in this episode, is one thing. It's like a one layer of reality. But I invite you to listen deeper, to listen beyond the words, because that is my main intention. That the words are just a way to carry a frequency. And I hope, and that is my greatest intention, that what you will hear today will touch you and transform you. I love you dearly. I'm leaving you all kinds of important links in the description of this episode if you want to work with me, if you want to get to know me better, if you want to join one of my trainings or online containers, then you can check the links in the description of this episode. All my love goes to you, and I wish you a beautiful time with this one. I am universe's favorite child. I am love's favorite child. I am God's favorite child. And let's talk about it today. What it means, how this sentence came to me, why it is so important for me, what is the difference for me between saying universe, God, love, or cosmic intelligence, intuition, or whatever word you want to use. Because I feel that there are slight differences in this, so I want to talk about that as well. And I want to tell you how this belief, how this one sentence helped me so much in my life and how it all works in practice. And I would like to start with inviting you to feel what it does for you when you hear me saying, hey, I'm Magdalena and I am God's favorite child. I am love's favorite child. I am universe's favorite child. What it does to you, and also maybe what it does to you when you allow yourself to say this, that you are love's favorite child, you are God's favorite child, you are universe's favorite child. And you are allowed to have any kind of reaction to this one little sentence. Some people are like, wow, like this touches something in me. I remember I had a mentorship session with one of my clients, and we were talking about living in aloha spirit and showing up in love and as love. And I don't remember why, but I shared a little bit of a story, and I shared this sentence with him that I am love's favorite child, I am God's favorite child. And he said, well, then it's two of us. So some people immediately have this reaction, well, me too. But other people have this reaction, which is also perfectly beautiful, valid reaction. Like one of my followers on Instagram, when I shared this in a post, that I am love's favorite child, I am God's favorite child. She said that saying something like this sounds very grandiose because there is only one God's favorite child, and that is Jesus, and not me, not Magdalena. And as I said, this is also perfectly valid, beautiful perspective, very different to mine. But you are allowed to have every reaction, and you are allowed to have every perspective, and you are allowed to have every feeling or thought around this. My invitation is that we contemplate this together, what it means to be God's favorite child. And can you be God's, universe's, love's favorite child? So what it does to you, what it stirs up when you hear me saying that about myself, and when you potentially allow yourself to say this to you about you. I am God's favorite child. I am love's favorite child. I am universe's favorite child. And I want to tell you how this sentence came to me, how I came up with this sentence. When was the first time when I actually said it out loud, very spontaneously, and kind of like half joking. It was summer 2023. And it was this very pivotal moment in my life, this moment of a huge change. Again, some of you know this story, that I used to live in the capital region of Iceland, but my biggest dream was to live in West Iceland, in Snæfellsnes Peninsula, in the tiny village here, where I live now. And it was 2023, summer, and I already made that choice that I was going to move out. And I had no idea how this all would work out. I didn't have a house that I could move into at that time, but I already had resigned from the apartment where I was living. So I was completely, from my mind, it didn't make any sense. Like, I gave up on a place that I was living in, having no perspective or no idea where would I live in this dream place of mine. But I had this conviction in my heart that it was going to happen somehow. And I remember I was talking with my partner at that time, and I told him that I had resigned from the apartment and that I just have full faith that it would work out. I have no idea how, but it's going to work out. That was my feeling at that time. And he started going very much from his head, trying to be very helpful and supportive, but also very logical. And he started to tell me, how the market is right now right, with the apartments and houses, and that it's not easy to find a place. And then he started to elaborate on that, and I was like, stop, just don't tell me anything else. I don't need to hear that. I know it's going to be okay. I am universe's favorite child. And this sentence just came out of my mouth, just like without thinking about it. And I said it, and then I laughed, because it sounded a little bit like a joke, like, to lighten up the mood, because we were talking about this, like, big choices, important decisions, difficulties on a market, with finding the apartment or a house. So it kind of felt like a joke to lighten up the mood, like, I'm universe's favorite child, it's going to be okay. But the moment I said it kind of felt like I said these words spontaneously out loud, and then they came back to me, and I could hear them, and something in me had this reaction that we often have when we know deep inside that something is true. That something is true beyond the mind, that something is true beyond logic, but you have this deep recognition that whatever you hear or something that you experience, that it is true, that you didn't lose your mind. It is like this. And I had that moment under this ha 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 funny, under this layer of it's just a joke. I had this feeling of like, I actually am. That is actually true. It's nothing to discuss. It's nothing to prove. It's nothing to argue. I just am universe's favorite child. And I took that sentence and I started to play with it, experiment, have fun, apply it to different areas of my life. But first of all, just really allowing myself to take it in and to live my life from this place. Like, I was asking myself, okay, if I was universe's favorite child, which I deeply felt with this deep recognition that it was true, then what it means in practice, how I would show up for difficult situations, how would I show up in moments of stress, in moments of anxiety, in moments of uncertainty, because like I said, that was a very uncertain time of my life when I had a dream and conviction and no idea whatsoever how it would come true. So how would I show up, especially when things don't look as I would like them to look? Knowing beyond the logic, beyond the mind, knowing deeply somewhere, deep in my belly, somewhere deeply in my bones, that I am universe's favorite child. And I would remind this to myself on and on, over and over again. I put this on a keychain that I have attached to my car keys. So I would see this often. I put it on the mirror. I put it next to my computer. You are universe's favorite child. I would fall asleep, putting my hand over my heart, and reminding myself, I am universe's favorite child. And it started to do something to me. But I will tell you more about the changes and what it did to me and what kind of shift happened in my life. I will tell you about it a little bit later. Because first I would like to address this few different ways of using this sentence, like, I am universe's favorite child, I am God's favorite child, I am love's favorite child. These are usually the three that I use interchangeably. And recently I mean like over the last year, half a year maybe, I really fell in love with the word God. And I use it quite often. I don't use it that often on social media because I know that sometimes it stirs up all kinds of reactions and all kinds of emotions and all kinds of misunderstandings, and I want to talk about that more. But for myself, I use it quite often. And right now, I when I speak to myself, when I remind myself, I don't say universe usually anymore. I say I am God's favorite child. Or sometimes I am love's favorite child. And like I said, I know that the word God is very loaded, that the frequency of this word is very loaded. I come from a Catholic background. My parents were not very thorough believers or followers of faith, but both my grandmothers were. So I was born and raised Catholic, and there was a time in my life when I felt very, very, very connected to Catholic religion. And that was my understanding of the word God, as it was perceived and presented through the lens of Catholic religion. Then when I had a moment in my life when I completely turned away from religion and more into spirituality, as understood as, not even understood as, but perceived like through the lens of, like yoga and meditation and all these practices that I started to practice like 15 or 17 years ago. Then I took this big turn and I completely stopped using the word God. And I really disliked it, and it was stirring up all kinds of negative emotions and ideas and connotations that I didn't want to have anything to do with that. Until recently, like over the last year, it started to change again, and I'm falling in love with the word God again. And when I was sitting with this word today, getting ready for this live stream, I felt that this is this kind of God that Einstein meant when he said that God doesn't play dice with the universe. That he didn't mean the Catholic God, but he meant, or at least that's what I believe and understand, he meant what I mean when I say God, which is this immense, illogical, overwhelming presence or power or love. That's why I often use these two interchangeably. And I'm sharing this because I know that to some of you, some of these words might be more triggering or less triggering. So if you want to take that sentence and if you want to play with it and if you want to experiment, choose the one that feels the best for you. Are you universe's favorite child? Is universe something that you feel the most connected to? Or are you love's favorite child? Are you God's favorite child? Maybe you feel like nature's favorite child, like some higher power's favorite child. I wonder what works for you. Because for me right now, it's God. I am God's favorite child. And still when I say it, because of so many meanings attached to the word God that I still have because of my upbringing, there is this a little bit of resistance that I meet when I say that. But I want to meet that resistance. I really believe that this is the moment when we can grow and expand and see things from a different perspective. When something feels like, that feels right, but at the same time it stirs something up in me. So feel what works best for you. And when I was sitting today and meditating and getting ready for this live stream, I also asked myself, okay, what really changed since I started to apply this belief to my life? Because ultimately it is some sort of a belief that I have about myself. You cannot prove me wrong, you cannot prove me right. It's just a belief that I have about myself. And we are made of beliefs, we are all made of constructs, we are all made of all these things that we think that are true about ourselves. We are made of beliefs, and this is one of beliefs that I have about myself. And I actually started with that belief and with that story that I shared with you, with me looking for a house and being in this uncertain moment in my life. I started to apply this belief with this deep conviction and deep recognition that I had that this was true for me, that this was absolutely true for me. I started to apply that because I used to be the person who felt very, how should I say it? I don't want to say unlucky, but I felt very undeserving. Yeah, that would be the word. I felt very undeserving of many things that I was dreaming about. I felt like I had to constantly prove myself. I felt like never good enough. I felt like I need to like I needed to try really, really, really hard. And then maybe if I tried really, really, really hard, and if I worked really, really, really hard, then maybe it would work for me. That was this kind of energetics, this kind of beliefs about myself that I would carry through life. Undeserving, needing to work hard, needing to constantly prove myself, feeling unworthy, feeling unchosen. So what this sentence started to do to me, it started to soothe me. That's how it felt. Like just so soothing and relaxing. Because when I say to myself that I am God's favorite child, or I am love's favorite child, or universe's favorite child, it feels like I don't need to prove it. I don't need to prove myself. I don't need to deserve this love. And to me, at that time of my life when I started to apply it, but still now, it feels so soothing and relaxing for my nervous system and for my energetics that for so many years was built on the belief that I am undeserving and I need to constantly prove myself. So that is number one thing that I started to notice when working with that sentence, with that code, with that belief that I am God's favorite child. It just suddenly started to feel soft. Life started to feel softer. Life started to feel kinder. Life started to feel more loving. And it's like I put a certain lens through which I started to see my life and different aspects of it. Because again, this is what beliefs are. They are different lenses through which we see ourselves and reality. Like imagine seeing world through different colors. And if you have a belief about yourself that you are undeserving and you need to constantly prove yourself and you are never chosen and you are unlucky one, imagine that this is like a lens that you see the world through. And you're going to see it in a certain way. You're going to see various situations in a certain way and understand these situations through the lens of I am unworthy, undeserving, unlucky, and I need to work really hard to prove myself. And that's not an easy life. Trust me, I was there. That's not an easy life. So when I applied this code, this lens of being love's favorite child, being God's favorite child, being universe's favorite child, imagine it's like putting a different lens. It's like seeing world through a different color. And suddenly the same situations that I would react to in a certain way from that belief that I am unworthy, undeserving, unlovable, I would react differently and feel differently about the same situations, about the same things that people would tell me, about the same outcomes of some things. I would feel differently about them, coming from this place of being so loved that you cannot be loved more, because that's what this code is about, being God's favorite child or love's favorite child. Ultimately, it means that you are so loved that, first of all, you are loved unconditionally, because that's what love's love or God's love is about. And then you are loved so much that you cannot be loved anymore. You are just the most loved being in a whole universe. And seeing the world through this lens started to change me, because it's not that I just did that once or twice. Like I told you, it was a practice that I would do relentlessly, putting these little notes everywhere, reminding myself when I fall asleep, reminding myself when I wake up, reminding myself in various moments of my life, especially these moments that would normally trigger my reaction of feeling undeserving or feeling unlovable or feeling like I constantly need to prove myself and nothing is ever enough. So especially in these situations where normally I wanted to habitually put on the old glasses, I would on purpose, sometimes even forcefully, choose to see this through the lens of being loved, being taken care of, being guided, being guarded, being protected. And things started to change, because when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. It's as simple as that. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at, they change. And the change is so subtle and so seamless and so smooth that it's not that one day you wake up and you are like, oh, suddenly everything is different. I'm a different person now. For me, the change was, and still is, because I still love to work with that belief and see new layers, deeper layers of what it uncovers for me. So the change is seamless, the change is smooth. It's something that I call becoming the person who is love's favorite child, who is God's favorite child. And as I am becoming this person, it means that I show up differently in various situations. Because I sometimes ask myself, how would I show up in this situation knowing that I am infinitely loved, that I am infinitely supported, that I am infinitely blessed, that I am infinitely held and cherished and just loved beyond measure? How would I show up in this situation? Becoming. The process of my becoming, the process of your becoming. Just this very sentence already changes the perspective for me. And I'm sharing all this in hope that it would help you maybe see some things in different perspective. How would you show up in some situation that feels stressful to you, that feels difficult, that feels challenging, that requires courage? How would you show up knowing that you are God's favorite child, that you are love's favorite child, that you are universe's favorite child? The process of your becoming. And then, once I started to really integrate it and to really live it, which means that I didn't need to remind myself about this every day, I started to embody it more and more through the process of becoming. It's not like something that happens overnight, but the embodiment of that belief. Once I started to do that, my life started to have a different color because I was looking at it through a different lens. It started to have a different flavor. One of my mentors, she shared a story about herself when her mentor, which is a funny thing, like everybody has a mentor. I am a mentor and I have a mentor, and my mentor also has a mentor, because it's a beautiful thing to have a mentor, by the way, somebody who really sees you in your potential, in your limitlessness. So one of my mentors, she shared this story that her mentor asked her, if you could do something for your people, for your audience, for your followers, for your clients, if you could give them something, what would it be? What would be the most important thing that you would like to give them? And I asked myself the same question on and on and on. And I was meditating with it and contemplating and journaling and dancing with it and falling asleep with it and just really taking it in. If I could give my people, which is you, those of you who watch me here, those of you who listen to me, if I could give you one thing, like one diamond, what would I like to give you? And I had various things coming to me, but one of these things that stayed with me, and I was like, this is it. I was like, if I could make every person believe that they are love's favorite child, that they are God's favorite child, that they are universe's favorite child, how different this world would be for all of us. If I could help my clients, my followers, my audience believe that they are loved beyond measure, that I'm going to speak to you because you are my audience. So if I could help you to believe that you are universe's favorite child, God's favorite child, that you are loved beyond measure, that you are okay, because this is also what this code is about. This code is about this feeling that I am okay. Everything is okay with me. I am not broken. I was never broken. I am okay. I am good. And everything is good. Everything is okay. I am love's favorite child. I am God's favorite child. All is well. I am okay. All is well with me. Nothing is broken. So if I could help you believe that this is true about you, and that you are guided and guarded, protected, blessed, that you are okay, that you are loved beyond measure, then this is something that I would love to do the most. And this is also one of the reasons why I show up today, live and in a podcast, to give you this contemplation and to see what happens. So if you want to share with me some of your thoughts, maybe some of your triggers, some of your aha moments, some of your stories, then please do send me a message. I would love to hear from you. And this is actually the last piece of the puzzle that I would like to leave you with, which is finding proof. I sometimes show up on my Insta stories reminding you, like, hey, you are love's favorite child. Find a proof today. And if you want to, let me know what it is. And that's a practice, that's a practical step that seals the deal, I would say. So to me, it started with even finding this code, finding this belief, choosing to believe that this is true, feeling deeply in my bones that this is true, having this recognition that this is true about myself and this is true about every person on the planet. I am love's favorite child. You are love's favorite child. So it started with this decision, recognition. Then I had all kinds of these practices that I told you, like really repeating this to myself, reminding myself, contemplating with this sentence, meditating with it, choosing to see some situations through the lens of this code that I am universe's favorite child. And then what sealed the deal for me was looking for proofs everywhere, finding proofs that this is true, that I am God's favorite child. And this is actually such a fun thing to do. So I really want to invite you to play this game for even one day. But if you want to play it for longer, play it for at least a week to see how it's going to change you, because this will inevitably change you, I promise. So play the game that you are love's favorite child, God's favorite child. This is done. You don't need to prove it. You don't need to do anything to deserve it. This is just a fact. And even if you don't believe it right now, play the game that you do. Do an experiment. Just take it for a fact and start to play this game of finding proofs, finding evidence that, oh my God, indeed I am. Because this is such a cliche example. I have a feeling that in every space where we talk about the topics like this, then this is such a cliche example, so I have to say it. That, for example, it's because you found a perfect parking spot, and you're like, of course, because I am love's favorite child. The other day, I had this beautiful moment when I was in a hotel and I had to leave really early. So I was still a little bit asleep and just packed my things, and I was already leaving. I had my hand on the handle, and then I was like, I'm just gonna double check the bathroom if I took my shampoo and all the other stuff. And in the bathroom, I found this necklace that I'm wearing right now. I just left it there, and I completely forgot about it. And in the evening, I was even thinking to myself, oh, please remember this necklace in the morning. And then I almost left without taking this necklace with me. And I remember seeing it on the, wash basin in a bathroom, and grabbing that necklace and feeling like, oh my God, I am love's favorite child. I am God's favorite child. I am always taken care of. I almost left without it, but then I got this hint or intuition to go and check the bathroom. And these are, all the little things that you will start to see everywhere. I am love's favorite child because there were nectarines in the store, and I love nectarines, and 2 stores didn't have them, but in this one store there were nectarines for me because I am love's favorite child. And I like to work on little things, on just tiny little pieces of reality. Because for me it's easier to start little and then find bigger and bigger proofs that I am loved beyond measure, that I am always protected, that I can trust my intuition, that I am always guided and guarded, and all is well with me, all is well with my life. I don't need to constantly prove myself. I don't need to deserve. I don't need to fix myself. All is well with me and all is well with the whole universe because I am God's favorite child. So how could it be otherwise? So that's a little challenge for you. Look for proofs. And if you want to, let me know what your proofs are that you are God's favorite child, love's favorite child, because indeed you are. And I want to thank you so much for being here, for watching me, for listening to this. Whether you watch a replay or on Instagram, you can let me know, you can leave a comment, or if you're on Facebook, the same. Just let me know that you just watch the replay. Or if you are a listener of my Touchful podcast, I have you deeply in my heart, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for you. I'm going to take a moment, one of my favorite practices, before I end this live stream, just to feel my heart and feel that it is connected to yours. That I am God's favorite child and you are God's favorite child, and that all is well, that we are okay. We are okay. It's okay. I love you dearly. And I wish you a beautiful day, or beautiful evening, or night, depending on when you listen to this. Aloha, and until next time, bye bye.